Hi everyone, this is Olivia Rose and today we'll chat about porosity. I will explain what is porosity, why is it important to know the porosity of your hair and how to determine it. So first let's see what is porosity. Porosity is the ability of a hair strand to absorb water and small molecules through holes in the cuticle. The scales of low porosity hair are flat and tight between each other and limit the absorption of water. This type of hair absorbs and loses water the less. Normal porosity hair has slightly raised cuticles. This type of hair absorbs reasonable amount of water and keeps moisture quite easily. High porosity, on the other hand, has raised or damaged cuticles. This hair type loses moisture quite easily when it's dry and absorbs a lot of water when it's wet. So what is responsible for porosity? Genetics has a huge impact on the porosity on our hair. The curlier the hair, the more difficulty the sebum, so the oil produced by the scalp, will have to travel along the hair shaft. That means that the hair will be less protected, can be damaged more easily, so that will increase the porosity of the hair. Chemical treatments such as relaxer, curly perms, balayage. So when you use bleach, when you color your hair quite light, so like a honey blonde color, all this chemical treatment will increase the porosity of the hair as well. Using heat regularly, so blow drying your hair often, using the straightener will increase the porosity. Sun exposure, physical alteration as well, so something like hair rubbing against the clothes, or redo twist again and again and again, that's gonna little by little damage the cuticle and increase the porosity. Also, it's very rare that we only have one porosity. The older the hair gets, the more it has been manipulated, the more the cuticle is going to be missing. The tips will have a tendency to have a higher porosity compared to the hair at the roots. This is why the hands are normally drier and more fragile. This is why as well the ends are lighter than the hair at the roots. It's because it's been oxidized by the sun, so the porosity is higher on the ends. Another thing as well, the porosity is not going to be the same on like all the part of your hair. For example, the porosity at the front of my hair is lower compared to the porosity at the back of my head. So why is it important to know the porosity of your hair? Knowing the porosity of your hair will help you find out what product to use and how often to use it. So for example, high porosity hair will need more protein compared to low porosity hair. So how to find out your hair porosity? We'll chat first about the float test. For those who don't know what is this test, it consists of placing a few strands of hair at the surface of a glass of water. If the hair is low porosity, that means that there is no hole in the cuticle, it will have a tendency to stay at the surface of the water. But if the hair has high porosity, because there is a hole in the cuticle, it will absorb a lot of water and then it will just like sink at the bottom of the glass. Although this theory kind of makes sense to me, it doesn't really give accurate results. For those who remember their physics classes, surface tension will help a very light object to stay at the surface of the water. So hair will have more of a tendency to float than to sink at the bottom of the glass. Also, what is on top of the hair? Is it like naked hair where there is no product whatsoever on it, or is there like oil or conditioner or anything on it? Because if there is just a little bit of oil, because water and oil they don't mix, the hair will have a tendency to float at the surface of the water. So I think it's the observation and the knowledge of your hair that will help you to find out what is the porosity of your hair. If your hair is relaxed or has a curly perm, if it has been bleached or colored like with a very light color, so let's say like blonde or something. If the hair is straightened often, or is exposed to the sun as well quite often, or if the hair has been, you know, burnt when it's been like, you know, straightened with the straighteners and it doesn't go back to its natural state, this hair is probably high porosity. On the other hand, if the hair never had any chemical treatment, is always protected against the sun, is rarely straightened with the straighteners, and has difficulties to absorb, you know, the product that you apply, and has a tendency to be greasy instead, this hair is probably low porosity. And finally, if the hair absorbs reasonable amount of product without being greasy, if it's easily moisturized, if it's straightened from time to time, or if it's exposed from time to the sun and is not chemically treated, this hair is probably medium porosity. So for example, I would say that my hair is a low to medium porosity. I never had any chemical treatment. I don't manipulate my hair too much. It's a bit, being exposed under the sun because, of the sun here in Australia, but it's not too bad. My hair has a tendency as well to not absorb the product properly. I'd be more greasy, especially at the front of my hair. It's like proper low porosity, rather than the ends are a bit more medium porosity. I would love to know what is the porosity of your hair. In my next videos I will give you some maintenance tips for the different porosity. Thank you very much for watching my video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
See, Fritz don't settle for the canines, even if they play nice, do a couple tricks. They be saying that they want a hot one, when they get it, then they fumbling with the mitts, and that ain't it.